Welcome to this video, which will detail the call management configuration of an MTMA Connect 4G intercom entry panel. This panel solution with integrated access control is designed to meet all the needs of an intercom system, where the only connection solution is the 4G network. Let's find out how to manage calls via the web page from the MTMA Connect website.
After logging into the MTMA Connect web app, you can view the system formed by the MTMA Connect entry panel with the outputs connected and, in our example, the automation already configured. The BXAV sliding gate is connected to the MTMA Connect, and selecting this allows access to the various menus available in the entry panel. In particular, in the Manage Module section, we can see the entry panel configuration including connected components, which in this example shows the entry panel and a single call button. The address book when selected shows all contacts and their respective telephone numbers belonging to the MTMA headquarters with which the call button is associated. By clicking on the pencil icon, the call order for the configured contacts is displayed. The sequence in our case involves contacting reception first, then the personnel department, then the purchasing department, then the property and finally the security guards. To give an example of an hourly call configuration, let us assume that only the security guard is called during night hours while the reception personnel, office, purchasing office and property are only called during daylight hours. While the reception, personnel office, purchasing office and property are only called during daylight hours. To do this, the Access Rules section is selected, for which an explanatory pop-up may be displayed. Within this section you first create a time slot. Let us go press the +Add Time Slot button and in the name we indicate a description immediately recognizable as night calls. We select the time slot type. The access mode will be a mode that denies the call to the selected contacts and validity we set it as always to be always valid. We click on the next button to go and select the days of interest, which in our case will be Sunday to Saturday with a time from midnight to 7:30. We save the time slot just configured. In the list, it is previewed with its properties. It is a time slot that denies any action valid from Sunday to Saturday from midnight to 7:30 in the morning. Let us now configure a rule. We click on the +Add Rule button and in order to recognize it immediately, we assign the name night. In the line, select at least one time slot from the drop-down menu, choose the time slot night calls just created and then save the configuration. At this point, clicking on the little man icon displays the Manage Access window in which by clicking on the first line contact list we will include all contacts present in the address book with the exception of the guard. The only contact in the group that will have to be called instead in the time slot from midnight to 7:30 in the morning. Save the setting. As a double check, you can move to the address book section to preview the association of the rule to specific contacts. Click on the pencil icon. It will be possible to define whether the rule is temporary or not to that contact. A start and end date and a start and end time will then be configured. At this point it will be necessary to program the system, as we notice that the icon referring to the MTMA Connect door station is orange. It has therefore undergone changes which need to be transferred to the device. Start writing by pressing the button and confirming the action. We wait for the completion of writing the new data to the MTMA Connect device, waiting for its status to return to online and then green. Now that the MTMA Connect device is back online and is synchronized with the configured rules, we expect that the call made during the nighttime hours by pressing the CAME SPA button will only reach the guard without disturbing the other contacts in the phone book. To be sure that everything is handled correctly, we recommend in the information section to check the date and time of the MTMA Connect device by reading the same parameters assigned via the G-Frame network and checking for consistency. Let us now look at a different example of hourly call configuration. Let us, for example, assume that only the security guard is called during the summer holidays, while reception, personnel, office, purchasing office and property are now reached by the call from the external MTMA Connect number plate. To do this, you select the Access Rule section. You press the +Add Time Zone button and enter an immediately understandable description in the name, such as summer holidays. As type of time slot, we set the time slot. As the access mode, we will deny the call to the selected contacts, and the validity we set as custom. You will also notice that there are some pop-ups for the various sections listed here. Click the next button to go and select the days of interest, which in our case will be from Sunday to Saturday. Valid for the whole day, and then we leave the settings we find from 000 to 23:59, and as start and end dates, we set in our example the 10th and 18th of August respectively, the week of company closure. We save the time slot we have just configured. In the list it is previewed with its properties. It is a time slot that denies some action valid from Sunday to Saturday. The whole day, so from midnight to 23:59, 10 to 18 August. Let us now configure a rule instead. Let us click on the +Add Rule button. In order to recognize it immediately, we assign to it the name Holidays. And in the line Select at least one time slot, let us choose from the drop-down menu the time slot Summer Holidays we have just created, and then save the configuration. At this point, clicking the little man icon, the Manage Access window is displayed, in which, in the contact list row, we are going to include all contacts present in the address book with the exception of the Guardian. The only contact to be called during the summer holiday period. We save the configuration. As a double check, we can move to the address book section to preview the association of the rule to the selected contacts. By clicking on the pencil icon, you can instead define any temporary nature of the rule applied to a specific contact in the address book, thus configuring a start and end date, a start time and an end time. For example, for the reception, let us configure the temporariness from the 15th to the 18th of August. a start time and an end time from midnight to 23:59 to configure the entire day. In this way, despite the fact that reception is included in the holiday rule will still be reached by the external MTMA Connect call from the 10th to the 14th of August, while it will not be disturbed from the 15th to the 18th of August. At this point, you will need to program the system by starting the write, pressing the orange button and confirming the action in the following dialog box. Let us now discuss a different example of hourly call configuration. Let us now proceed to set an example where with annual repetition, only the security guard is called in during the holiday season, while reception personnel, office, purchasing office and property are not reached by the MTMA Connect external call sign. To do this, go to the access rules. You press the button plus add time zone, and in the name you indicate an immediately comprehensible description such as, for example, Christmas time. As the type of time slot, we select special period. The access mode will be one that denies the call to the selected contacts. The validity we set as always and the repetition we select as yearly. You will notice that explanatory pop-ups are available here for the various menus listed in this window. We click on the next button to go and select the start and end day and month, which in our case will be from the 24th of December. to the 26th of December. And as time we leave the proposed times from midnight to 23:59 to define the entire day. We save the configuration. We note that in the list, the time slot we have just configured is displayed in preview with its properties. This is a special period with annual repetition that denies some action valid from 23 to 26 December for the whole day. Let us now configure a rule. We click on the plus add rule button, and in order to recognize it, immediately assign to it the name Christmas. In the line, select at least one time slot from the drop-down menu, choose the time slot you just created, Christmas time, and then save the configuration. At this point, clicking on the little man icon, the Manage Access window is displayed, from which we will press the first line contact list to include all contacts in the address book. All with the exception of the guard. The only contact which will have to be called during the Christmas period. Save. As a double check, you can move to the address book section to preview the rule associated with the relevant contacts. By clicking on the pencil icon, it will eventually be possible to define a temporary nature of the rule for a specific contact in the address book, thus configuring a start date, an end date, a start time and an end time. At this point, it will be necessary to program the system by pressing the orange button and confirming the action in the following dialog box.